Hey, welcome to another live edition of Blue Jay Banter. I'm your host, Tim Kruger. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. It helps us out a ton and helps spread the word. We got a lot of exciting stuff planned here over the next 3-4 months to kind of morph this Blue Jay Banter show, not only from a Monday, but into a smaller weekly during the week segment, so to speak. So be on the lookout for that. We'll talk more about that later on as we got to get more things planned and so forth. But it's going to really enhance the product. It's going to enhance everything that we do here at Blue Jay Banter, and I think you'll be thrilled to it. But it all starts with BlueJayBanter.com. So if you're not a member, go to BlueJayBanter.com right now and sign up. We've had a big influx of membership over the last week or two because of obviously all the talk of the portal, the talk of roster construction next year, the talk of people leaving, Ryan Miller going to Murray State. A lot of chatter over there on the message board and lots of great thought-provoking conversation. We have a private, maybe I should explain this, and I don't do it enough. We have a private section of the board. That's where all the action is. So we can share information when we get it from recruiting sources around the country, so it doesn't get out to the public because they don't want that released. And you will be privy to the inside information. Plus, all of our members chime in with information that they get as well. So it's like a community, and it's really fun, and it's a lot of fun and great content, a great product, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Very, very affordable rates. So go there right now, BlueJayBanter.com. Sign up today, and you'll be glad you did. And again, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube. Tonight's show. So we're gonna first thing I'm gonna do is kind of get you up to date on spring sports. A lot going on there. We'll talk about some of our great sponsors: Infusion Brewing, West Pacific Dental Group, RTI Threads, and then also a little bit Austin Chapman will join me. We're gonna kind of break down recruiting, like with the portal, like where we are, what we've got, and where we're gonna go from here. So I think it'll be a valuable conversation. Let's first start off with Infusion Brewing Company. What a great company and great beer. If you haven't been out there, get out to their location in Southwest Omaha. I think today, when it's it's a little bit cool today, but the sun's shining. Their deck faces on the west. What a great night to sit outside out there and have a nice cold craft beer. They've got tons of them, and I just got some the other day. Some great beer products that they put together. The vanilla bean. They got the pickle beer, which is awesome by itself and awesome mixing with Bloody Marys. Oh, fabulous. So check it out. It's Infusion Brewing Company. They're the home of the Let It Fly beer. You can find at the arena and also at the Let It Fly Sports Bar. So check it out. That's Infusion Brewing Company. Okay, spring sports. So softball, they got off to a really nice start. That's kind of fell off a little bit since then. They're down 12-18 overall, 2-7 in the league. So they do play Omaha tomorrow. Now, there has been a time change because of some impending weather that's rolling in. And we'll talk more about that with baseball here in a minute. But the game has been moved up to 4:30. So it's 4:30 at the CU Sports Complex. Get out, watch this great softball team in action. And then this weekend, they head to Georgetown to continue Big East play. And so it'd be great if they could try and pull this Georgetown record, or excuse me, their conference record back to 500. So they played Georgetown 3 games this weekend. Golf. We haven't talked anything about golf. The men's golf team is out in Seattle right now. How great is this? They're playing Chambers Bay. Awesome. Side of the U.S. Open a few years ago. I believe Jordan Spieth won that one when DJ missed that little putt on the last hole. But just, unbelievable views right along the bay. The golf team's out there. I just have some individual finishes. The round is still going on. A lot of golfers still on the course. Grant Feldman shot a 1 over par today. He's in 20th place, 35th place. Jacob Kuttner has 3 over. And Henry Keeney, Hank Keeney's son, is on the team this year at Creighton, and he's in 61st slot. He shot a 5 over today. They play another round tomorrow, so check them out. You can just go on Go Creighton, go to the golf page, and find out everything that's going on with the golf team. We haven't really, like I said, we haven't really talked much about them since they had that match play tournament a while back. But hey,
Can't hear too much.
hey man,
How's it going?
There's my buddy Austin Chapman. How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Good, good. Interesting afternoon.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll talk. That's an inside joke with me and Austin, so we'll talk about that later. I was just saying that the golf team, men's golf team's out at Chambers Bay in Seattle
Oh
playing
yeah.
a tournament. How cool is that?
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, see that.
Yeah. And then the baseball. We're talking about this as we led into the show. Creighton took 2 out of 3 from Sanford. A really credible program in the South down in Alabama. Took 2 out of 3, moved their record to 16-7. They did take a hit in the RPI because Sanford over the last couple of weeks has lost some games and dropped down. But Creighton's now at 50th in the RPI, so they like to get that in the 30s somehow, and they've got a lot of opportunities coming up. But at any rate, 16-7, you can't sneeze at that. They played a pretty competitive schedule so far, so big week ahead, and it starts tomorrow with the interstate rivalry against Nebraska. The Jays head to Lincoln. Big time change in that game, though. It was scheduled initially at for a night game. It's now moved up to 2:30 because of the thunderstorms that are supposed to roll in. So, 2:30 start tomorrow afternoon. So, hey, I got the afternoon off. Head over to Lincoln. Be a nice day to watch a baseball game over there, and the Jays take on the Huskers. And in the first of 3 matchups. Look at that blue sky behind you, AC.
Yeah, not mad at it. Decent day.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's got
At the moment.
typically, as we've spoken about, in the springs in Omaha, they get nice about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. The
Yeah.
rest of the day is kind of crappy.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're going to move up, and then, oh boy, then the conference season starts, and they kick it off against the preseason favorite in the Big East. UConn comes to Omaha. It seems like they haven't been here forever. Jays get a big 3-game series with them. Kicks off Friday at 6, then Saturday at 2, and Sunday at noon. I'm gonna have to get down there and see 1 or 2 of these games. This is going to be awesome. UConn started out a little slow here. They already started their conference season last weekend and had to go to Xavier, so they start the conference season at Xavier at Creighton. Kind of tough road. But UConn has a very good RPI because they just load up in the non-conference. They play all the tough teams, and they took 2 out of 3 of UConn. So Jays can take 2 out of 3 from UConn. UConn will have 4 losses already in the early league season, and that'll be a big boost for everybody else in the league, like teams like Creighton, Xavier, St. John, so forth. So big series down at Charles Schwab Field. So get down there, support the team. Weather's going to be okay. Better than it's been. So get down there and check it out. I now want to talk a little bit about West Pacific Dental Group and Dr. Robert Hogan and his staff over there do a fabulous job. They're my dentist. They take care of me and my wife on all our dental needs. They consult with us. They do everything that we need, and everything they talk to you about it. They don't just go and say, hey, I got to do this. We're going to do this procedure, that procedure. They give you an option of how would you like to proceed going forward. Here's what could happen if we did this. Here's what could happen if we don't do this. So they're absolutely great with their communication, and that's what I love. You can get your appointment this week, so check them out. Give them a call, 402-697-0765. That's 402-697-0765. I don't know how many people we got watching that, Austin. I'm sure everybody's glued to the TV with this crown tournament going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Huskers play later tonight, play Arizona State.
Okay.
I think Arizona State's like 13-17 or something. They have a losing record.
Let's give them a chance to play. Give them the kids a chance to play, right?
Yeah. Even though some guys are already gone from the team because the one guy already signed, who'd he sign with? Oh, St. John's. That's Sonson, I think his name is. He went to St. John's already. So this is kind of like the football bowl games, man.
Yeah. Saw RJ Lewis.
So to that point, do you wish they would move the portal back after the Final Four?
I think so. From coaches and player perspective, right? I think there was a point where Calipari was saying, the portal opened last Monday. And basically, they're kind of out of the fold, or maybe we'll miss on some of those earlier guys. It just makes it a little bit different, right? Like it's a little difficult to be trying to focus man, preparing for next year.
Yeah. And I just think, Izzo went off on it the other night. Somebody asked him about it. He goes, I'm focused on my team. Okay.
Right.
It'd be a travesty if I didn't focus on the team. I'm not worried about the portal right now. But
Exactly.
it does kind of seem like, and yes, those are all blue bloods that are playing right now anyway, the way it worked out this year. So they're not gonna get too hurt anyway. But it would be nice if
Have
everybody
some portal
started.
guys. They have some portal guys as well, so it's like I think it hurts a little bit of everybody. I think
Yeah, because they've got guys that are leaving right. You're right. You're
and
right.
like potentially, some of those coaches could be gone, right? So it's like I think it just would make sense for the portal to start a little bit later. But
Especially if you're talking Duke, you got a 4 or 5 star sitting on the bench that's not playing. He's
yeah,
going to hang on because he wants to get that championship ring, right? And then go somewhere, right? So
absolutely.
yeah. So at any rate, so the portal's been going here. Creighton's been very active, and they've got a guy inked to come in next year to have a man in the middle take Kalk's spot. I don't know if you fill his shoes, but you certainly play his position. That's Owen Freeman out of Iowa. Somebody we targeted very early and got him in here early and got him to commit early. 16.7 points a game, almost 7 rebounds a game, and almost 2 blocks a game. Very efficient, and we kind of forget he was freshman of the year last year. So it's a pretty high honor in the Big Ten. And they think he improved his stats this year. Now he got injured at the end of the year, had a finger surgery, but he's very excited to be at Creighton. I know that. Any thoughts on him?
I haven't seen him a whole lot. Heard a little bit about him. I think it's definitely a good get. I think it definitely if Alexa pans through, I could see him playing more, and that's being younger than most teams, anyways. I know we kind of talked earlier of playing with youth, so I kind of say
Yeah.
something of Max, team going forward, but I think it's definitely going to bring something better that it's going to fill a hole, right? Fred left.
Right. And he's only a junior, like you mentioned, so that's kind of unusual. The portals have been getting later, have been senior guys. So,
Right.
but I think with his skill set too, one thing that we've kind of been playing that drop coverage with Kalk. We may not, because he's a little more mobile, we may not have to play that. I don't know. Mac likes to play that, but I think Mac would not be opposed to hedging more on those screens, much as we did say with a Bishop. Now he's not quite as active as Bishop, but somewhere in between.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Definitely got some length. How tall is he?
6'10", I think.
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, a little bit more agile, definitely. So I'm sure you'll probably see a little bit different hedge on some different things. Not having that individual that we had down there in the middle of the paint, clogging things up. So defense scheme might look a little bit different.
Yeah.
As well. It might look a little bit different. Yeah, but
And it just depends on what defensive set we're in, right? Because we still got to have a guy at the rim protecting the rim, and he's got 2 blocks a game. It's not like he can't block shots. So we got to have somebody there at times, depending on how we're playing those screens. So I think it'll be a good shift. Guy we've heard a lot about, Josh Dix out of Iowa as well, was here yesterday. He is headed to Indiana tonight. They got in very late on this. Darren DeVries, now the new Indiana head coach. I don't know what kind of relationship he may or may not have had with Josh when he was here.
I would have to
just
imagine.
right across the river.
Yeah, I think him and Tucker, if I'm not wrong, played together. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I would have to imagine that's probably why that's being right back around. But I think it would make a lot of sense for him to be right across the river, right, with his teammate kind of been there making it known. But I
Yeah,
think
it would be.
sense. But of course, he's been, solicited at some high prices that might not make the best sense, but he's kind of proved himself. I don't know if it's worthy of that dollar amount, but he's definitely gonna make some change here.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's reportedly gotten a huge offer from Kansas, but hey, he's taken 1, 2, 3, 4 visits, sometimes to the same school, talking Creighton too, since then. So I think he really, all reports are he really, 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 really wants to come to Creighton. Just once he's got some family stuff going on, wants to be close to home. You know, he's from Council Bluffs, so we'll see what happens. Frankly, I'm a little surprised we're still in the running. So to me, that's good news that we're still there. Now, what's going to happen with Indiana? That's another question. I mean, that's if close to home is really important. I mean, yes, obviously this is option number one. Number two is Kansas. It's only 3 hours away, right? But now you're talking Illinois, Indiana. You're getting a ways away from home again. So it just depends on where's priorities lie, the money, and so forth. And I know obviously D-Rock needs players. He said so much in his press conference. He's going portal this year because he needs some guys. So we'll see what happens and see how the visit goes and so forth. I've been in contact with a guy that covers a lot of recruiting, but kind of hones in on Indiana. So go to bluejaybanner.com. As I said earlier, I was telling about some of the info we get. And if you're not a member, sign up today and you can get that information. So we were talking earlier today about, you know, roster makeup and a couple things. You know, I think people confuse roster makeup with, oh, these will be our 5 starters, these will be our 5 backups. That's not what roster makeup is. Roster makeup is, all right, as Murph always says to me, Tim, we need a lot of guards. The way we play, we need a lot of guards. So we always, you know, some years we've been caught a little short with the guards situation with some injuries. So it's important for us not to get caught short. Frankly, this year we were okay, but those guys logged a lot of minutes. And I think you've spoken about this a lot during the season. It would be nice to have some more depth here where we could rotate some guys in and out. We've seen that in the NCAA tournament. You know, even teams like Auburn that have terrific guards are rotating guys in and out. Mark Sears, that jumped out at me the other night. Mark Sears sitting on the bench for 4 or 5 minutes when the game was kind of in doubt, you know? And I thought, wow, there's a coach that's getting him some rest.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say that. RJ Lewis too, right? Was one of those, and he's doing. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I just don't think they're gonna put up with too much more anymore, right? Either. So it's like there's a lot that comes with that price tag, you know, at the end of the day that I think coaches too are making a clear point on, as we kind of know, with one of our own, potentially that you know, the Pops incident, I think, was something that just kind of rubbed definitely alumni and just Creighton fans, I think, in a rough way, that it felt a little bit used in a sense, you know, that it was
500,000 for 8 games. Yeah.
definitely a sore spot. Definitely a sore spot. You know.
Yeah, but that's the way it is, though. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
it is what it is. It's no different than the guy signing the $28 million contract in the pros and then being injured in the first play of the game.
Well, yeah, but yeah, true.
You know, it's kind of the same deal. But I hear what you're saying. Totally hear what you're saying.
Sure.
But we, you know, some people are saying, "Wow, but if we get Dix, then we'll be kind of crowded at the spot." I don't really look at that, man. We got 2s, we got 3s. We need quality players and more than just a couple.
And I think that's the position that you could have as many as you could possibly get, right? And never have too many. You know, I think a lot of people forget that Devin Booker came off the bench, was like 6th, 7th man. You know, the deeper you are at the wing position, that's better, I believe, you're going to be as a team. You know, at the end of the day, those are the guys who are either scoring it, filling it up, or, you know, stopping the best player on the opposite end of the court. So I think you need as many of those as you can get, you know, especially in this era, being able to mix it up and have a versatile, you know, individual at that position is huge. So Fedora's a little bit different from Dix, but granted, they kind of are somewhat of the same player. But you know, then we got Greer coming in, and it's kind of course, but it's finally having some of these higher caliber wings too. I think is something that's like not something we're used to. So I just think it's just a little bit different, and the game's gonna look different, right? Like I think we haven't had to be so heavy because we've had, you know, the perennial guard and big for the most part, ever since Mac's been here, right? Like it's been you got a point guard and you have whether it's a center or a power forward, more or less. And now I think now it's gonna try to change to still being because would you consider Jackson a small or a power
I think he's a power. I
in
think
college,
he's,
right?
you know, he's a guy that, you probably didn't look at him as power this year, but I think next year maybe you will, you know. I think I don't think we ever will envision him at the three. And again, we got to tell people Mac's offense is interchangeable. All the parts are interchangeable on the offense. We're talking more defensive end, like where's he going to guard somebody? Um, Jason's great. He can guard the two, the three, the four, probably even the one at times. So he's a perfect guy for our system. Like we can move him around and fit him in. Um, we still have, even if
I
we
wouldn't
had
even
Fedor,
consider him a guard. He's definitely a forward. You
what's
know,
that?
I wouldn't consider him a guard though.
No,
Right?
no, but he defensively though he can guard threes.
Point forward. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
definitely.
and even switch off on some twos depending on that player.
Sometimes the one if needed, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's where he's flexible. Like I said, on the offensive end, the way Mac plays, guys are in different positions all the time.
Yeah, I think this year proved that, and I think that should kind of put all of that to bed, the way he was able to rotate that 3-4 position and the individuals that we had at that position that, it more or less proved that it doesn't hurt.
Right. And it's kind of nice when you have Freeman, say, then you have Jackson, and then you have Jason. Well, the other team then has to make a decision. Are they going to guard their three with Jason? If so, we saw this year him get open looks down low, take back guys down and score. Then he's only going to get better at that. And that's where that just swings to a huge advantage for us.
Yeah. When Jason's playing with his back to the basket, I think he's at his best, honestly. That's probably what he was playing a lot growing up, right? And it's finally now getting back to what he was comfortable with anyway. So, that's the thing too and when you get to the next level, is just find the mismatch. He's a big mismatch problem, as to your point. If a two or a three is going to try to guard him, he's going to take him down to the post. If a four is trying to guard him, then he's going to be a little bit quicker on the ring. So I like him, honestly. I think he's going to show us a lot coming in the next season. Hopefully he stays healthy. I think that really kind of got him off to a slow start this year, but with it being that he kind of has to provide, whether that be scoring, rebounds, stops, you name it, I think we're gonna have to see a lot more from him, definitely. And
Right.
I don't see him
The other
being
thing too is he's a team guy too. Like if we let's say we were just loaded at that 2-3, hey, he understands he will his role will be defined in some way somehow. The other thing I think to remember too is, we've been talking about a point guard. We have Ty Davis, but to maybe supplement that with someone else. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched Dixon. If I don't know if he can play any point at all. And I'm not talking playing point
I
20
wouldn't say
minutes. I'm
that.
talking 10 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I think he's more of a true
Two,
shooting
three.
ish, but yeah, I wouldn't say that at all. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find something in Portal that's going to be one of these mid-major guys that are probably slept on that slip through the cracks and provide,
Right.
value.
And
But
again, you can say, well, wait, we're getting too crowded there. Injuries happen.
you're stopping,
Yeah.
and it's not even.
You got to remember Fedor. People don't realize this. Fedor was cleared for this year. So there could be a chance we have to go through a process again. Right. Um, I hope not, but who knows? Like,
Yeah,
you could have an injury, you could have anything. There's all kinds of things that could happen. I think what we really need to do too is we really need to we've got to have another five.
well, yeah, well,
Owen can't play 40 minutes every night. I mean,
yeah, I don't. I've heard it. This was a done deal. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking a little too early, but I believe he will be here, and who knows? I think it might be the same thing where he might have to get clearance on being able to play. Because hadn't he played some professional
Oh,
games?
you mean Alexia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Sons of
think it's the same kind
Montenegro.
of deal.
Uh,
Yeah. Right.
no,
That'd be the perfect solution there, right?
like the same situation there too with Fedor, but if they're already kind of be working it, I'm assuming that's kind of going to be the backup. I would have
Yeah.
to
Right.
assume.
Right.
Um, but I just
So
think,
basically now, if we get who we want, we would basically all we would need is some sort of a plan two at the point guard, and I think we'd be pretty set with a pretty nice lineup next year. And what I like too is be very versatile. You guys can shoot it. You got like the door, and certainly if you watch Hudson play in Mount Verde, he he can shoot, but he likes to take it to the hole. That's kind of his game.
yeah,
He's 6'7". That's kind of a mismatch too.
that's something we've been missing. That
Yeah,
individual that can more or less take advantage of that 3 to 4. Kind of wear them down because generally that's more or less the best player on most teams. I feel like we're playing right is that small forward wing there.
yeah,
If you're able to go down on the offensive end and kind of make them work, then potentially, we'll probably come out with the upper hand just kind of due to max game plan and the way the team plays.
when people have all these questions and so they say they can't sleep at night, which okay, I would look at some of your priorities. You can't sleep at night because you don't know how this is going to go. But I always say this: just trust Mac. Mac hasn't won as many games here as he has without knowing what's going on and knowing what he's doing. So I think we're in good shape there. Um, real quick, I just want to mention RTI Threads. For great crate and apparel, go to RTI Threads. They've got tons of great gear. They've got women's basketball gear. They got men's basketball gear, obviously. They got some great baseball caps now. Some really sharp new models, which would be great to wear out at Charles Schwab Field during these baseball games. So check them out. That's RTI Threads. Go to rtithreads.com. So I want to wrap this up with a couple things that are near and dear to your heart. First of all, the Blue Jay Banner Golf Tournament, July 26th, 8 a.m. at Dodge Riverside. You can go in the post party down at Let It Fly again this year. So you can just go Google Perfect Golf Blue Jay Banner. It'll pop you right to the website. If you go on Twitter, I'll be posting that link to the website. Get signed up because last year we filled up and I had to turn away some people. So you don't want to be left out in the cold. And some people have always said, hey, Tim, why don't you announce this earlier so we can get our plans straight? Well, here we go. Announced it in March. We're ready to go. I know Austin's got some great ideas for it too. So go on there today, get signed up. Let's get this ball rolling. Number two, you've heard us talk about this a lot. We're getting closer to the match.
Oh yeah.
We got to come up with a catchy somehow, tie it to Blue Jays somehow. We'll think about that. But we don't have the teams totally locked in yet. But right now, the possibility is that myself and number 41, Isaac Trout, would be playing against number 1. Oh, I know. And number 1, two number 1s.
Makes 11.
Austin Chapman and Stephen Ashworth may be potentially partners.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get this nailed down, which we should here in the next week or two, we are going to open it up. I have to check with the golf course because there's liability issues, all this kind of stuff. So, but we would certainly welcome. We will limit it, or we don't want 20 people there, but we'll limit it to certain people, and we'll have a contest. Who, if you can come, if you want to come, watch us play our match at Players Club, and if we can get that set up, it would be awesome. So we're going to check into that. If we can, we will have more information on that, but that'd be a lot of fun as well. I know over at BlueJayBanner.com, when we had one of these, when Ross and I used to play the matches, we used to have them. We used to give a prize away, and then they would each say, "Hey, Tim's going to win it 3-2, or Ross is going to win it 4-3, whatever." And who came the closest got the prize. So it's a lot of fun. So you better get out and get practicing.
Yep. Now, yeah, sure.
You don't need practice.
It's all mental, Tim. I was told it's 90% mental, 10% physical, right? Like most things. But off a little
Eh,
more, I
I don't
like
know
to
about that. Like, if you
offer me.
haven't played in,
I know.
let's say if you haven't played in 9 months, though, it's more than just it's getting your swing grooved. And
Not for me. Not for me, Tim. It's like riding a bike.
so, what's tougher? What's tougher? A long layoff in basketball or a long layoff in golf?
Long layoff in golf.
Yeah, no
Because
doubt.
I'm doing longer, for sure.
Plus, plus short game too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Short game, you got to do it a lot to be good to
Right.
keep sharp.
I would say I do that more than anything. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we're looking forward
God, I
to it.
can't wait to I
I'm
can't
looking
wait to
forward
smoke
to it.
you. I just can't
No
wait.
drugs.
Just can't wait to smoke you. All right. Hey, that's it. And I was before you came on us, and I was telling people a little bit about not get any details, but we're going to kind of revamp things here as we move forward to the next few months. A little bit with Blue Jay Banner show, more focusing on that right now than the post game show. The post game shows we'll have a little different look to that, but it's going to be basically the same. But maybe doing some little things different here with Blue Jay Banner. So we'll keep everybody in touch with that. We've got more hurdles and more meetings and so forth to do. So, hey, buddy, I want to thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Remember Creighton fans, Nebraska game at 2:30. It's on Big Ten Plus. Like if you're not a Husker fan, you probably don't have Big Ten Plus. So
Sure. Yeah.
maybe you can find it. Maybe it's on the Fox Sports app. Maybe I don't know. And then remember this weekend, 3 games against UConn. Huge games in for baseball to get off to a great start conference season. So check that out and go to bluejaybanner.com for all your updated portal news. And you have a wonderful evening, my friend.
Well.
All right, man. See you guys next week.